Hello. Please disregard my attire and my drink here. It's grape juice. I'm here to talk about a car ad I saw quite a while ago, if you'll join me on this excursion here. The ad in question is the 2009 to 2010 Dodge Challenger Freedom ad. Now, without further ado, before I really get into anything, I want to show you the ad in question here. You can pull it up in your slides, but I'll show you the big TV here I got.
Here's a couple of things America got right. Cars and freedom.
Now, if that doesn't put hair on your chest, I don't know what will. But let's get into the deeper question. Why? Why this ad? Why make this ad, Dodge? Simple reason. America. More specifically, according to NPR, quote, when talking about cars, classic American cars that is, it's all about horsepower, status, being American, and for young people, rebellion. Now, I know what you just saw. Basically, the American ethos of rebellion. George Washington driving a Challenger into a swarm of redcoats. I want you to picture something for me. If you were a 17th century British soldier in the colonies of America, and you saw three black Dodge Challengers going, we'll be generous here, going 80 miles per hour, your pants would be not red. They would be brown. Next slide. Now, according to some data I found, definitely a percentage of Americans bought a Dodge Challenger after this ad. Now, the data I have is not conclusive, but what I found, right, when this ad premiered, it was during the FIFA World Cup of 2010. We were fighting England. It was a 1-to-1 match, but again, the patriotism was there. This will be important later, right? Now, I figured out the numbers. Between May and June and July, right, these were the numbers of Dodge Challengers bought, right, in May. 3,828 Dodge Challengers. In June, when this ad aired, that went down. Only 3,086 Dodge Challengers were sold in America. But in July, the following month, we rose to 3,695 Dodge Challengers. Coincidence? I don't think so. I think that's marketing at play. That is Americans being good patriots, following George Washington's example of fighting British people by buying a Dodge Challenger. Next slide. Now, how do you do it? How did Dodge, the successful, cool cats they were, make buying a car cool? Well, let's look at the facts. They used what I call 3 states of commercials. Good commercials, that is. 1, humor. The idea of George Washington driving not a Hellcat, but a Dodge Challenger right into a line of infantry in the 1770s is inherently funny. Let's admit that right away. So right out the gate, they have us hooked, okay? And the drama-esque for the minute before the Dodge comes on the screen, I mean, I thought I was watching Washington Spies or John Adams or Hamilton without the music. I was captivated. I was engaged. I was a little scared. What were the Redcoats aiming at? But then, out through the bush, out through the tree line of the good American frontier, comes the Continental Army and the commander-in-chief himself. I mean, that's just funny. I can't write a joke like that. But I will admit, memes did help. This is one of the rare cases where online culture actually, I think, boosted this ad. In recent years, in fact, well, maybe not recent years, but at least, give or take 5 years ago, I was seeing this ad all over, but not with the original violin-esque playing Mozart melody. No. This was the song America F-word, yeah. If you know, America, yeah, America. You get that, you right? But I mean, that even adds to the humor. And more so, it makes you think, man, maybe a Dodge Challenger is cool. Because it's an inherently cool car. It's a muscle car. Who doesn't like muscles? Who doesn't like cars? Not Americans. Meaning Americans like, you get an idea. Anyway, patriotism. Now, I haven't found any exclusive evidence on this, but I do think Americans buy things more when it's inherently American. Look at MyPillow. Look at, I don't know. MyPillow is the only thing that comes up to my mind. But you get the point, right? Americans, Dodge Challenger, vrooming, going straight into England's front lines. We're playing against England in the World Cup, right? I mean, this ad couldn't have been done at a better time. We were inherently fighting the enemy. Who doesn't hate British people more than Americans? Maybe the French. But that's neither here or there. Now, there is a quote from the great book Engines of Change. Chapter 2 goes like this. It is a quote from Henry Ford himself. Now, a little context here that I did not know until I learned a couple of days ago. Dodge actually was born from Ford's company. The Dodge brothers left Ford, and they made their own company. At least that's according to Dodge's own commercials. If they're lying, then egg on my face. I am just a patriotic citizen. But here's the quote. From Henry Ford, quote, "No man making a good salary will be unable to own one, and enjoy with his family the blessing of hours and pleasures in God's great open spaces." Take a look back on the commercial we just saw. What did we see? Well, we saw not only one Dodge Challenger, but 3, meaning there's an excess supply in here. The Continental Army has enough money to buy at least 3 of them, maybe a whole cavalry unit, a mechanized squad, if you will. But what else? God's great outdoors, the American frontier, the place we all want to go, and these Dodge Challengers were just eating the dirt. They were going like no man has gone before on the moon. They were going, I mean, I said at least 80, but they could have been going faster. And if you know horsepower, that is fast. Also, the third thing, the cool factor. It's just cool. Like a Dodge Challenger, it's just cool. I don't need a source for that to say anything about it. It's just a Dodge Challenger is cool, right? It doesn't look like a Prius. It doesn't look like a Tesla. It doesn't look like a Toyota Tacoma. It's a Dodge Challenger. It's an American muscle car. What do you need more? Next slide. So what's the big plan? What's the big idea here? Why even make this commercial? One, to make money, pretty much. We could have just ended there. That's the whole thing. To make money, right? But I think if we go deeper, right, this whole thing could be employed to be even more patriotic during a patriotic time, which, the World Cup, we're Americans. I don't understand what soccer is, but, I don't know. Football is football. When Europeans say football, I get confused, right? So what I'm saying is, this commercial was probably made in the point of, if you don't buy a Dodge Challenger, you're not a real American. That's the whole thing. That's the whole shebang. That's the whole, if you will, declaration of Dodge Challenger independence. We probably couldn't have won the war without those. But that's for another time. That's the whole thing. Thank you for joining my TED Talk. Please get out of my house.